Hello, my dear students. So, in this video, I'm going to discuss about the JavaScript. So, what is the use of JavaScript? How it is used? What is its necessity? Okay, because already we have finished our HTML programs, HTML lab programs, and also we have discussed about CSS in the previous videos. So, in this video, I'm going to introduce you about what is JavaScript, why it is used, and how actually we are going to embed the JavaScript in your HTML files. Okay, so here, if you go to the JavaScript here, it is a lightweight interpreted programming language. It is an interpreted programming language designed for creating the network-centric applications there. Okay, and it is very easy to implement because it is integrated with HTML. So it is very easy to implement. So it is a popular programming language in the world that makes it a programmer a great choice. Once you learn the JavaScript, it helps you for developing great front-end as well as back-end softwares using different JavaScript-based frameworks like jQuery, Node.js, etc. So what is the necessity of this here is so it is a very popular language and it's make the programmer very easy to learn. So once you learn the JavaScript, you can develop the great front end as well as in back end applications also. Okay, using the different frameworks. So JavaScript is everywhere. It comes installed in every modern web browser. So it is available for the web browser. Okay, so to learn JavaScript, you really do not need any special environment there. So nothing special environment is required. Whatever the environment is available for you, you can learn using the JavaScript. And also the usage has now extended to the mobile app development also there. Okay, desktop app development and the game development. The JavaScript usage is also moved to the mobile app development, the desktop development, as well as the game development. Okay, and also due to the high demand, there is a tons of job growth and high pay for those who know the JavaScript. So if you are knowing the JavaScript also, it will be useful for gaining the jobs. Now, first, already we means before going to the applications. So why actually we require a JavaScript? So where actually it is a use it? So in theoretically, we have observed that there are some software means in the dynamic web pages actually some validation, some manipulation should be performed at the client side. So generally, if anything is given, as I explained you, that data is actually transferred to the server and there it is validated and then it is the result is sent back to the client. So it is a time-taking process that whatever you give the in the client side, so it is carried to the server side and validation there or anything checking there and again sending it. So why don't we have a language which is used, which runs at the client side, not at the server side? Of course, JavaScript can also be used at the server side, but here the point here is if there is something which is actually run at the client side, then it will be easy for you. So as to create some validations, some validations, some pattern checkings, or whatever you want before sending it to the server. So it is actually a server side validation. This is important because the user can verify the user input before submitting it to the server. And JavaScript plays a very important role in validating those inputs at the front end itself. And also it is actually helps in manipulating the HTML pages on the fly. This helps in adding and deleting any HTML tag very easily using JavaScript and modify HTML to change its look and feel based upon the different devices and requirements. So what you can do, you can manipulate your HTML files. That means what actually to be displayed in the HTML file also you can check. Means sometimes you can hide some hyperlinks. Okay. Uh, You can hide some means you can add and delete any HTML tags there. Okay, so this is also and user notifications. You can use the JavaScript to raise dynamic pop-ups on the web pages to give different types of notifications to your website visitors. It means so you can have the pop-up windows which can be generated at the client side dynamically. Okay. And next, the backend data loading. The JavaScript provides Ajax library. So this is one type of library which helps you to for loading the backend data while you're doing some other processing. Means front end some other processing will be done and back end okay the data can be loaded using this JavaScript. In the presentations, this JavaScript also provides the facility for creating presentations which gives website look and feel. So a great look and feel means you can develop, you can design as you wish here because the JavaScript provides a Reveal.js and bespoke JS libraries to build web-based slide presentations. So you can create the web-based slide. Of course, that's our very advanced topics. Okay. Okay. So Node.js is another, which is a built-in Chrome JavaScript runtime for building fast and scalable network applications. So those are some of the applications which are generally means I mean to say the applications which are of the JavaScript. Okay, next, as I told you, it is a dynamic programming language. Okay, it is a lightweight and most commonly used for the web pages. So it allows for the implementation of client side to interact with the user and make the dynamic web pages. It is interpreted programming language with object-oriented capabilities. So it has an object-oriented capabilities with an integrated means it is an integrated programming language. Interpreters programming language. I'm sorry. Okay, next it is earlier known as LiveScript, but Netscape later named it as in JavaScript. Okay, so it is a client-side JavaScript is most common form of language. The script should be included in a reference in or reference by the HTML document to the code to be interpreted by the program. So it is included as a reference. It can be included as a reference or it can be included in the HTML file itself. I will show you the both the ways how it can be used as a reference as well as how actually it can be included in the HTML document itself. Okay, so it means that the web page need not be a static HTML, but can include programs that interact with the user, control the browser, and dynamically create the HTML content. That's what I was pointing here that the web page is not static, no, it is dynamic because the programs are run at the client side and dynamically they create some HTML content to be displayed on the screen. And also, this client-side mechanism provides many advantages over traditional your server-side script there. Okay, so the JavaScript can use to check if the user has entered a valid email address in a form field. Means if suppose some email address is given, it can be checked whether a valid email address is entered or not, when valid data is entered or not. Okay, when you are entering some whether you are entering a valid date of birth or not. So those such all things can be validated at the client side because those data need not be sent to the server and again their checking is done and again it is sent back to the client. Okay, so it can be executed when the user submits the form and only if all the entries are valid. So JavaScript is code is executed when the user submits a form. And when some form is submitted, it is going to check see whether all the entries are valid and then they are submitted to the web server. So it will check at the client side itself and then it is transferred to the web server then. So what are the advantages here? The lesser server interaction. So that is a very beautiful advantage of the primary advantage of your JavaScript. Okay, because you have a less server interaction with the user there. And immediate feedback to the user. They do not wait for the page to be reloaded. So see if there is forgotten to enter something because all the checking is done at the client side itself. So they need not wait for the feedback to be obtained from the server. And the interactivity is also increased because you can create an interfaces that react when the user hovers over them with the mouse or activates them via the keyboard. So when the user activates them via any component via keyboard. So those the interactive interfaces can also be created there. And the rich, you can use the JavaScript to include such items as drag and drop components, sliders to give rich interface to your site visitors. So the advanced features of the JavaScript actually used to add some more items to your interfaces. So what are the limitations here? The client-side JavaScript does not allow the reader or reading or writing the files. So you cannot read or write the files at the client side. That is primary disadvantages. Okay, because you cannot read a file at the client there. Whatever the file you want to read, you have to read it from the server only. So JavaScript cannot be used for networking applications because there is no such support available. So you cannot build up the networking applications here. And also it does not have any multi-threading or multi-processing capabilities. One thing means it is not having any multi-threading or multi-processing capabilities. So here, uh, mm, what you have to do here is see, this is the code. This is the code actually, which is actually embedded in the HTML. So you have to use the script tag here, and you have to give the attribute the language, which is JavaScript, and the type, it is type JavaScript. Then you have to write the code here. So just you have to write the code here. So here the JavaScript is actually embedded in in the file itself. So just open the notepad. Okay, so just I have save it as okay HTML file only. Okay, you have to save it as an HTML file only. First hello dot I will name it as hello dot HTML. Save it. Go there. Execute it. Here it is. Hello world is displayed on the screen. That's it. So here the code, if you observe the code, it's nothing special in this. You have the HTML tag, which is opening tag. Then you have the body. Then you have the body. Then you have the script tag, where you are specifying the language. And then the lay here, it's not necessary, but in some browsers you have to include the scripting information, the JavaScript as a comment. As a comment you have to write. So these are actually the HTML comment which is used. But the difference here is this is a starting comment, and the ending actually again it's just an ending actually, but you have to include the two slashes along with that. So here document that, right? So this is actually works as your printf from C or C out in your C++ or in Java, your system.out.println, the same thing document.write, whatever is given the conditions here, it is actually displayed on the screen. That's the reason why it is actually displaying something on the screen, right? Okay. So another practice here is in general, whenever you write the JavaScript code, okay, now see here, as I just told you, the script is implemented using the statements which are placed between script and slash script. So you can place this script containing JavaScript anywhere in the web page. So you can place it in anywhere in the web page, but generally it is recommended to keep it in the head tag. So between the head tag, it is actually placed. Okay. Next, the script tag has two attributes. One is the language and type. As I told you, script language is JavaScript, type, okay, text slash JavaScript. Okay, like this. And then you have to write the JavaScript code. And I just showed you this example, how it is going to work here. Okay, so JavaScript ignores spaces, tabs, and new lines that appear in the JavaScript program. So it ignores spaces, okay, tabs, and new lines. Okay, and next, the semicolons are optional. Like in C, every statement ends with a semicolon. So here it is not compulsory. You can include the semicolon, and you need not include the semicolon. Okay. If each of your statements are placed on the separate line, for example, however, allows you to omit this semicolon. If it means if all the lines are placed at the same line, then you have to use the semicolon. Otherwise, you can, if suppose anything is placed in different lines, then you can go for, you need not place the semicolon. For example, here, variable 1 is there, variable 1 equal to 10 is there, variable 2, it has come to the next line. So then you need not write the semicolon. But if you want to write both in the same line, so variable 1, 10, then semicolon, variable 2, 20. Like that you can write there, like here, so which is shown here. Then you have to use compulsory the semicolon there. Another point here is it is case sensitive. Yeah, another point to be noted that it's not like HTML, which is not case sensitive. Your JavaScript is actually case sensitive language. This means that the language keywords, variables, function names, and other identifiers must be typed with the consistent capitalization. That means you have to maintain the consistency there. And as I told you, the comments actually, any text between double slash and end of the line treated as a comment and is ignored by the JavaScript. So if you're writing double slash and any script between slash star is started as also the semicolon. Okay, sorry, comment. If it is a multi-line, JavaScript also recognize HTML comment opening. So comment opening in the HTML component comment opening also it will consider. Okay, so, but JavaScript treats this as a single line comment, just as it does with double slash. Double slash as a single line comment it will treat. But if you want to make it a multi-line comment, then compulsory you use double slash this one. Okay. The next thing here to discuss is about okay. So these are all not necessary. So you can, as I told you, you can place the script in the head section, or the body section, or the head and body section both. So when you're placing it in the head section, like that you have to place and you have to use it, see input, type button, on click, say hello. So this is what is a function. The thing which I just like to show you here is it is like a function. So in the function in the sense, so whenever, see, this function is invoked. So when you click on this button, you're telling here in the body section, you're telling that input type is button on click. If you're clicking on that, you have to execute this function and the value is say hello. Okay. Now, see, I'll just execute it and I will show you. Because it is embedded in the HTML file, I'm just writing it as saying it as HTML only. Now, go back, see here, say hello. See, a button is placed and if I click on this button, so say hello, and alert message is actually been showed here. Okay, whenever I click on this button, it is showing say hello. Okay, so the code actually, it is explanatory here. So you're writing the JavaScript there, you're writing a function. It is saying alerts. Alert actually will bring this alert window. So this alert window, because you are using alert statement there, you're going to get the alert window here. Okay, then the input type as it placed button on click, you have to place to say hello. It is calling this function there, and its value, button value is say hello. That's it. We are not nothing to do with the value here in this program, but if suppose it is required, we can do it. Okay, so that is about the introductory part for your JavaScript, and most of the programs which we are going to discuss now further actually will be including this functions only, functions. So one last point before I conclude, because I will explain you from the next video the programs regarding our lab programs here. I will be discussing the syntaxes at the same time discussing the lab programs, explaining you. So in this, you can place embed the code in the body or the head section like this, or just in the body section, or as we have placed it just in the head section. Otherwise, what you can do here is we can place the file separately in some other file, and it will be stored with a extension .js. We're going to store the file using the extension .js. Okay, so this function, so function say hello will be stored as separate file, and the reference is given here. Script type JavaScript, the source is the file name .js. The reference is given. The rest all is same because you're not going to write the code here. Now the code is taken from the separate file. So that is about this. I will explain you with a program. So I hope you got the content. So in the next video, I will discuss about our lab programs. Thank you.